If you're staying late trying to figure out how AI would help you or your job or your business, but you are just droning into the generic text which you could have written in a better way, then it's not your fault or you're not falling behind. It's just that you are using the AI in a wrong way. The internet told you that you would save hundreds of hours with AI, but right now you are spending more time with ChatGPT or any other AI platform than getting the work done. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to tell you the exact 3-step logic shifts, which takes less than only 10 seconds to type your prompt, and it would save AI from wasting your time. So let's fix your workflow and get the things right. Now you must be seeing my screen. I am just using ChatGPT to give you the example where I'll be just giving a simple prompt that I want to write a Terraform code to deploy a Kubernetes cluster in GCP. Now we see that it has created some directory structure as main.tf variable output version and terraform.tf file, which is good. We will quickly go through the main.tf, what it has done. Now it has enabled some required APIs. Now in the network, you must be saying that it is trying to create the network, which is not absolutely required because I already have a network running in my GC project. Same for the subnet. Inside the cluster resource, you see that it is trying to create the network which was just created. Same for subnet. And then I don't see anything mentioned for the master authorized network, which is a very important thing to control what IPs can access my Kubernetes cluster. And if I want to deploy the endpoint as a private, what are the node pools it will be using, what are the nodes, if it is private or public, right? And then using the workload identity, there are so many factors I need to consider if I want to create a Kubernetes cluster for my production. To stop LLM from guessing and giving you the real world architectural constraint, you just need to follow 3 lines in your prompt. I call it as a ERA protocol. This is called as ERA protocol, and this is just using the same model, same question, but it will get us a different output, and we will see how. E stands for environment and persona. If you tell AI that you are a DevOps engineer, it pulls from a massive generic cluster of public code. If you tell that you are a principal cloud architect and ruthless DevSecOps auditor working on a Terraform version 1.5 inside a GCP multi-tenant architecture, this instantly forces the LLM to access the high quality enterprise grade data structures. Then the next part, which is important for us, is the restriction and boundaries. This is where you kill the hallucination and the lazy defaults because you are going to give the restriction that in what way the LLM has to put some restriction while giving the out. So instead of saying nothing, we will say that you should not create new network resources, do not deploy the public model, do not leave the master authorized network empty. And the last part of it is the action and the output. So instead of just saying that give me a code, we will structure it. We will say that give me an output in a markdown table mapping every resource to a purpose and the security control, risk if omitted, and then the Terraform in the fence block IF file. This tells exactly how to format the variables, how to force it to output in a markdown table. The structure itself becomes the accountability check. Now we are going to see that how to structure your prompt. So here we will see that you dropped a prompt and what how it is upgraded using the prompt engineering. So here I'm just going to give that you are a DevOps engineer, write me a Terraform code for a Kubernetes cluster. Okay, and I'll upgrade the prompt. Now you see the output followed the ERA protocol and you see that the prompt is now changed to this. It is giving the persona, environment, restriction and action. Okay, so I'm just copying this prompt and I'm just pasting it over here and let's see that what difference we see. Now you see that it had checked these things, that it should have the Terraform with version 1.5 plus, then the private endpoint workload identity, there should not be any network created and it is expecting to use the existing VPC and all. You see there are so many other factors as well which it has taken into the consideration. Plus it has created a very nice table for you which says what resources are going to be created, what is the purpose of the resources, what security control it has implemented, and what is the risk if these are omitted. Now in the main.tf you see that it is trying to create a cluster and you see that it has added the workload identity configuration. Then you see that it is trying to create a private cluster. It enabled the private nodes as well as the private endpoints inside the master authorized network. Now it is accepting the CIDR, which needs to be whitelisted in order to just get the access to the cluster to the authorized IP address or the CIDRs. Then there are a lot many configuration about the node pools. It has nicely created the variable.tf and the output. Right. It also gives you some more details about the security observation, which you can look after. So when you are running a prompt using ERA protocol, this is what you get. Look at that. Once the AI gives you the code, you are happy with it. Now you can copy it. You see the difference. Like instead of just giving the simple prompt, we tried the ERA protocol and how it engineered the response. And the response has everything from the production grade Kubernetes perspective. For you, I'm just going to drop the link in the description to get that website where you can try out using the ERA protocol how the prompt should be configured. You just have to copy paste and you can see the difference. Okay. So no newsletter to sign up for. There is no $900 course and no gatekeeping. The exact ERA prompt that I used, I'm just posting that into the description and you can try it out for free. If this saved you from headache, then please hit subscribe. And if you want to see that how I pass the 10 GB of log file in few seconds, then stay tuned for the next video.